Hey everyone, thanks for dropping by. If you caught my last video, you know that I recently made a somewhat controversial decision. Instead of going with one of the newer consoles, I chose to order and am now actively playing a PlayStation 3 in 2026. Now, before you start lighting up the comments, hear me out. The PS3, even today, offers incredible gaming value. There's a massive library of fantastic games you can pick up for next to nothing. And honestly, sometimes you just want to pull a game off the shelf and get a pure hit of unadulterated retro gaming goodness without having to worry about signing into accounts and subscriptions and things like that. When you buy a pre-owned PS3 controller, or for that matter, any type of electronic that's pre-owned or controller such as this that has a rechargeable battery in it of this age, there's a very good chance that at this point the lithium-ion battery therein is either fully dead or almost there. And frankly, if you can't get a good charge in it, then it's just basically a fancy paperweight. And at this point, who wants to be connected to the console with a USB cable? Not me. So, what's a retro gamer to do? Well, replace the batteries, of course. You don't want to throw out the controllers just because the batteries are dead. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. I found a great little replacement kit on Amazon for about 15 bucks that included everything you need to replace the batteries in two controllers. This kit came with two replacement batteries, specifically the LIP 1359 model, which is the exact fit for most PS3 controllers. It also thoughtfully included a small Phillips head screwdriver and a plastic pry tool. These are essential, trust me. You don't want to be scratching up your controller with a metal tool. Ready to breathe new life into your vintage hardware? Well, let's get to it. All right, first things first, let's talk preparation and a tiny bit of safety. Make sure you're working on a clean, well-lit surface. A good mat helps prevent screws from rolling away into the abyss. We all know that feeling. Also, ensure your controller is completely off and disconnected from any charging cables. We don't want any accidental power surges while we're operating. Now, the PS3 controller is held together by 5 small Phillips head screws. You'll find them on the back, strategically placed and easy to see. Grab your small Phillips head screwdriver from the kit. It's usually a PH00 size, perfect for those tiny screws. The screwdriver from the kit worked fine, but I prefer my trusty electronic screwdriver set that I've been using to repair laptops and other small electronics for more than 10 years. A good kit will last you a long time, as long as you take care of it. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. These screws aren't super tight, so don't force them. Once they're all out, put them in a safe place. Losing one of these is a pain. This is where our plastic pry tool comes in handy. The two halves of the controller casing are usually held together by some small plastic clips after the screws are removed. Start at one of the grips near the seam. Gently insert the pry tool into the seam between the two halves of the controller. You're not trying to force it open, you're just trying to create a small gap. Work your way around the edges, gently prying as you go. You'll hear little clicks as the clips release. Be patient and don't force it. The goal here is to get them open without damaging any of the small plastic tabs. Once one of the clips are released, the two halves should start to separate pretty easily. With the casing open, you'll see the internal components. The battery is very obvious, right in the center. The battery itself is connected by a small 2-wire connector. This is a very delicate connection, so be careful and once again, don't force it. Once the connector is unplugged, the old battery might be lightly adhered to the controller body with some double-sided tape or perhaps a clip. Gently peel it out or remove it from the clip. Now for the fun part, bringing new life to this controller. Take your new LIP 1359 battery from the kit. Make sure the orientation is correct. The connector should line up with the socket on the circuit board. Look for the notch on the connector and the socket. It can only go in one orientation. Give a little press to make sure it's secure and double check that the connector is fully seated. You don't want it coming loose mid-game. Now, before we snap this back together, we need to address the elephant in the room. If you've never opened a DualShock 3, well, you can expect it to be a little bit finicky. There's a very high chance that while you're prying the case open or swapping the battery, your buttons, specifically the L2 and R2 triggers, decided to make a run for it. If they fell out, don't panic. You haven't broken it. The secret is in the spring. Make sure the long arm of the spring is resting against the inside of the trigger and the short arm is tucked into the slot of the controller frame. There's a flat spacer piece of plastic between the triggers that can be loosened up if you need some more space to reinsert the triggers. Once everything is seated flat and those triggers are clicking back and forth smoothly and normally, then you're ready to close it up. Carefully align the two halves of the controller casing. Remember, don't force anything. If it's not closing easily, double check that no wires are pinched, that the components are all sitting correctly. Once the casing is snapped back together, it's time for those 5 tiny screws. Remember, just snug, don't crank them down or you'll risk stripping the plastic. Success! This little guy is ready for another decade of gaming. Imagine the value you're getting out of this. A fully functional PS3 system and controllers, all for a fraction of the price of current-gen consoles. And that, my friends, is how you keep the PS3 dream alive in 2026. It's a bit of a delicate operation, but for the price of a small parts kit on Amazon and about 15 minutes of your time, you've just saved some pieces of gaming history from hitting that landfill. Honestly, the PS3 library is just too good to let a dead battery stand in your way. If this tutorial helped you out, please let me know in the comments. Did you have buttons fall out and you had to figure out how to reseat them, or did you get lucky? This has been Bronze Dragon. Thanks for viewing. Please leave a like if you like this kind of content, and subscribe if you want to see more retro modern gaming content in 2026. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy, and as always, I'll see you in game.